I'm out here in the solarium. Hello, Oak Leaf. How are you? Some of the contrasts here today. My friend, and pluralize that with an apostrophe 4 S's. Friends, not friends, friends, friends. Sounds like lightning, huh? Anyhow, I was doing some thinking today. As usual, I'm hurting myself. All this damn energy it takes to think. But I was thinking about some of the issues that are taking place. I'm gonna leave a link in this video with some of my friends have already seen it, but it's a brain cell that grew light sensitive, like little blank spaces on a cell. It's pretty cool. Like, imagine going to work with that thing all day, and you walk in and it can recognize you. It's a living like being on a computer chip. That's pretty cool. But what I wanted to talk about was when a man and a woman gets together. Okay, there's this thing called pregnancy, because people started talking about computer chips and things of that nature, and Moore's law, and all this other crazy brain cells on computer chips. Well, whenever I meet a natural a natural frequency that attunes and attenuates me to once you get close, and then we have this special we all know what it is. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and try to explain this like I'm Rico freaking Suave or something, or a real Casanova. But I meet up, and there's this natural process that happens. I have as all men, we all know this. We have a direct injection of protein into the one meets the zero. this binary this binary term, and then as the male and female get together, there's a very small amount of, there's an injection that occurs, and then there's like this kinetic pump that happens, and when the zero and the one meet, there's a spark. And as we all know, that is what we call a fertilization process of life. And now, to give you more in depth, in tune outlook on what's happening here, the one goes into the zero, and then there's a pulse. And they say there's a blue spark, but I cannot attest for this. And then all of a sudden there's constant, it's not constant, but there's a pulse width, constant, just, it doesn't stop. Just right at that point, whenever these two proteins fuse together, that is nuclear fusion, and this is a bubble. And in the female, in her gut, right where the CH4 is, there's fusion that takes place. Now you got to imagine, like, this cigarette, for instance, and imagine about just 4 points of a laser beam coming to that cigarette. That's what happens in the woman's body. And this is very powerful, because we all know a woman gets morning sickness. There's a fusion that occurs, nuclear fusion, and the body and the gases literally right to the ball. So it's like the energy of the woman is going to her zero, her property that she was biologically born with. And so when there's this bubble, the electromagnetic energy, the femtoamperage, everything in the gas field, these harmonics they call them, octaves, it literally has a beam forming effect, and that's quite literally what I'm trying to explain. It's happening in our atmosphere, and this is starting to happen to people walking down the street. But not to go out there on a tangent. When this fusion occurs and the forming of beams and electrical energy is amplified, the woman gets sick. Sometimes they throw up. Blah, the foods they eat don't taste right. What else happens to you girls? Just weird things. There's something that changes because this is what you would call radiation poisoning. This is it doesn't get any better than this. Because then all the water in your body is going to start to change, and they call this chemical process, but it's water. It's the harmonization of water to attune to this new pulse of light that is, well, electromagnetic interference. Just pop, 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 pop. And then all of a sudden, the sickness kind of goes away, and you get hungry, and sometimes you feel good, even have sexual feelings, blah, 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 because the electrics in your body change. This is very easy to explain. And this is nuclear fusion. just a simple processes, and like what I'm really trying to relate to is like when we start, it's a kinetic process, and this is where you got to look. Everyone that must is you got to start from somewhere and to comprehend what's going on around you in the field. Just imagine when we have life, impregnation, whatever you want. I'm trying to. I don't want to say impregnation, but just the spark of